Okay, so now this should only be showing if the radio next to it is checked. So we're going to use a selector to identify this radio. We'll use a pseudo selector to check whether it's checked, and then we'll use an adjacent selector to select the next item. So that might sound a little bit tricky, but it's not as bad as it sounds. So we're here inside of our type div, which again surrounds all of our radios and our labels. And let's first select our radio inputs. So we'll use input for that. Now, if we wanted to be more specific, we could use these square brackets and set the type to radio. Now, we don't absolutely need this kind of specificity because in this div, we're probably only ever going to have radio inputs. But just in case, it doesn't hurt to be more specific here. Now, this type of selector is an attribute selector. So we're checking for inputs that have the attribute type, and that type equals radio. We could also use other attributes here if we wanted, like IDs or alts, style, anything. But most commonly, you see it with inputs, since it's almost like the different types of inputs could be standalone HTML tags, but they're not. So this is going to select inputs that are radios, and next we want to select ones that are checked, or the one that is checked. So we'll use the colon to indicate a pseudo selector, and then we'll use checked. The next thing we want to do is select the next element, so the next following element, which will be the label, and we can do that with the plus selector. And we need a selector for the label, so we're going to use the label HTML tag selector, and that should be it. So this is one of the most complicated selectors we've used so far, but again, it's not that crazy. So we're selecting inputs that have the attribute of type, where the type is radio. We're selecting only checked ones, and then we're actually going to select the element that's right after that. So let's add our brackets, and let's move this before part here just to this element. So I'll cut it and I'll paste it in here. Let's save it and go back to the browser. So we shouldn't see anything before it, but if we check it, we'll see the checkbox show up. Okay, not bad.